It's not always easy to find a great cruise deal unless you know where to look. And that's why I'm going to give you a list of 9 insane cruise deals that you can book this year. Every one of these deals is under $68 a night. Several are under $40 a night. And I'm not talking about bottom of the barrel cruise lines. I've got all the major cruise lines on this list. Everybody from Carnival to Celebrity and Princess. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you fresh cruise advice, money-saving hacks, and secret strategies the cruise lines don't tell you. Let's get started. Let's get right started with Carnival. They're offering a cruise right now for $40 a night, which is a 6-night Mexican Riviera cruise out of Los Angeles. The dates available for this price are May 4th through May 10th. That is 6 nights at $40 a night. You cannot go wrong with this value on a cruise, and if you're near the West Coast and you can get to Los Angeles easily, it's a great trip down to the Mexican Riviera. 6 nights, you've got 2 sea days and some popular ports of call.
Like an earthquake.
Now I'm going to look at a couple repositioning cruises which are historically very low in price, and these are great deals for this year. So first we have here Costa Cruise Lines, which has a 15-night repositioning cruise from the Caribbean to Europe, and you're only paying $35 a night. This Costa cruise departs on March 15th, but you don't end up in Italy until March 30th. The itinerary includes such islands as the Dominican Republic, St. Martin. You're also going to hit the Canary Islands, Barcelona, Spain, and end up in Italy. These types of cruises are great if you're looking to take a European vacation and add on a cruise to it at a price you just can't beat. Another cruise line with a transatlantic cruise here is MSC. They have an 18-night cruise at $40 per night. Now, I really like MSC, but they get some mixed reviews. So if you're not sure about them, it might be quite a commitment to be on a cruise for 18 days. However, I would book this cruise because it's on the MSC Grandiosa, which is one of their newer and larger ships, and it's heading back to Europe out of Port Canaveral, so that's an easy get to. And then you're going to go through the Straits of Gibraltar and hit a lot of southern Mediterranean ports on your way to Italy. For this 18-night voyage, the Grandiosa will depart on April 18th. Moving up the price scale a little bit, we have a Carnival transatlantic cruise for $45 a night, and this is on the Carnival Freedom. So if you're a fan of Carnival, this might be a great one to try. You're going to have 6 or 7 sea days in there, and you're going to leave out of Florida and end up in Barcelona, Spain. The Carnival Freedom leaves on this voyage on August 18th, and you end up in Spain on September 1st. Now this ship actually stops in Celebration Key on its way out, and then you're across the Atlantic. But it does stop in Gibraltar, which is a nice port a lot of cruise ships miss. And then it also stops in Malaga, Spain, which is one of my favorite southern Mediterranean ports. Princess is one of those cruise lines you may never forget because of the elevated service compared to some of the lower tiered lines, but they still offer some great deals. And here's my last transatlantic deal, and it's actually on Princess. This one leaves out of Europe, so this is on the Sun Princess. You'd actually have to fly to Spain, Barcelona in particular, and the cruise ship would leave there, hit some ports in the Mediterranean along the way, and end up in Florida. Now, on their way across the Atlantic, they do stop at the Canary Islands, which is a nice stop on their way to Fort Lauderdale. And the best part, if you can get on a Princess cruise for $53 a night, how can you pass that up? Now, I understand there's a travel requirement here because you have to fly one way, but this cruise departs on October 31st, and that is considered off-season, a time when you'll get much cheaper airline flights. Now, if you're thinking you have to sail across the Atlantic to get a great deal on a cruise, I've got 4 cruises coming up here, which are all in the Caribbean, one of the best places in the world to cruise. But before I get to the next one, I'd like to know if you have or you would try a transatlantic cruise. Let me know in the comments below. So my first Caribbean cruise is actually on Holland America line, and this is only $58 a night for a 1-week, 7-night cruise. This is on the Statendam, leaving out of Fort Lauderdale on March 21st. But for Holland America, this is an incredible deal, a 1-week cruise for $58 a night. And if you really want to feel like a star, you can take this 7-night Grand Cayman and Mexico cruise on Celebrity Cruise Lines for only $66 a night. That is an incredibly low price for a 7-night Celebrity cruise. This one leaves on March 28 and it's on the Celebrity Summit, which is a highly rated ship, and the service is very elevated on this cruise line. I even found a Royal Caribbean deal for $68 a night, and this is on one of my favorite ships out there. Now you might be thinking, why did you pick this ship? Because it is one of their older ships, but it has some very unique features. It's a lot less crowded than their newer, bigger mega ships, and it sails out of Tampa Bay, which is a really nice port to leave out of because it's quite scenic leaving the bay and going under the Sky Bridge. This cruise is on Enchantment of the Seas, and it hits the Western Caribbean, which are pretty popular ports like Cozumel and Belize and Roatan. And for this price, the cruise departs on September 12th. But as you can see here, there's quite a range of dates available at very similar prices. So a couple more dollars a night, and you can pick another date that's more convenient for you. And this is really a great cruise to go on. I've actually been on it twice. And if you like that deal, you can get the exact same deal on a slightly elevated cruise line. I'm going to tell you about that next. But first, I would ask if you take a moment and subscribe to our channel, hit the like button. It helps us grow, and it'll bring you all of our cruising updates.
Better days, make those days right now.
Now, if you prefer Princess Cruise Lines, you can get this same deal, $68 a night, on a Princess cruise ship, a 7-night cruise in the Caribbean. And this is on the Regal Princess, leaving on October 17th. This cruise leaves out of Fort Lauderdale, but you hit the private island, the Bahamas, the Dominican Republic, and Grand Turk, all great destinations, and a perfect Caribbean cruise at a very low price on an elevated cruise line. Now, if you think these deals are good, there are some strategies I always use to get the best deal whenever I'm booking a cruise. I'll tell you all about those right here.
Show me